Explain ELI5 from the point of view of a photon. Is the universe a dimensionless point? From the POV of a photon traveling at the speed of light, no time elapses from the moment it emits from the sun and absorbs in my eyeball. This is true also of all photons going all directions off the sun. This implies there is no distance either for the photon in any direction. So does this imply that from the point of view of a photon, is its universe a single dimensionless point? That is, for a photon, is it existing in a pre-Big Bang universe? And further, since there is at least one photon, surely there isn't space for more than one. And since it's the same universe we occupy with that one photon viewed through differing points of view, is all light that one photon, possibly superimposed countless times? There is no POV of a photon in special relativity. Speed of light is the same in all reference frames. You can't construct a reference frame that moves along a photon as that implies speed of light is 0 in that frame. If you put Vc in the time dilation formula, you get division by 0. Domain error. A photon is an eternal object that does not experience time. According to our current understanding of physics, from the point of view of a photon is a meaningless phrase. The equations that we use to shift between reference frames break down for the speed of light. Let's suppose there is a point of view of a photon, or ride a beam of light as Einstein dreamed. Then, from this point of view, a photon traveling next to us in the same direction is going to be static. Just like two cars on an interstate going at the speed limit. We just broke one of our fundamental physical laws from our point of view. There is light stationary. So, speaking about what a photon perceives requires ignoring laws we have proven millions of times. Well, you see, us humans can't even fathom that kind of time. Because it's really, 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 really fun to imagine a speed of light ride. Dr. Jimmy's Tupper. Surely there isn't space for more than one. That is an unjustified leap of logic. Photons don't take up space. As bosons, they can and do overlap in all relevant ways. They can occupy the same physical space and quantum states. I see a lot of really bad answers here, so here it is plain and simple: a photon has no valid point of view at all, so your question is meaningless. Not in the sense that it's a stupid or bad question. Just that it has no valid answer because it's based on a flawed premise. Special relativity simply does not allow photons to have a point of view. We have absolutely no idea what happens in the point of view of a photon. It's all speculation. Search YouTube for Flatland. There's 2 films based off of a book. I think that is exactly what you are looking for. It's mostly about how 2-dimensional beings would perceive the world, but they do visit a one-dimensional character. I think one of the stranger implications is that for a photon of the cosmic microwave background radiation reaching us from outer space, the entire age of the universe elapses in a single moment. Entire stars have been formed and died out. Entire civilizations rose and fell. Entire species came into existence and went extinct. And to those photons, all that time that elapsed while it was in transit was all a single instant, because at the speed of light time comes to a halt. I mean, accordingly, since the universe is ever expanding at a rate of over 73 km/s, which is 263,000 km/h, the universe is a dimensionless point for anything physical. The equations in special relativity are not valid when VC. This includes the calculation for time dilation. Anyone saying what happens for something traveling at c is pure speculation. Photons take all possible paths. Photons are just the clicks your detector makes. Do they even exist in between the source and detector? We don't know. What we do know is that our current models don't allow us to figure it out. Similar to the uncertainty principle. Answering that question would require us to drastically change our understanding of the universe. If it's at all possible. No time elapses from the moment it emits from the sun and absorbs in my eyeball. How do we know that? What you described is true even before the photon leaves a star. POV is a function of consciousness. To the photon it is both the beginning and end of the universe. It probably wouldn't be able to distinguish itself from the universe. Like if you paused a photon right now, it would think the Big Bang just happened. I guess the question is from the point of view of the universe. Are you any more than a photon? No. A photon emitted from the sun is not absorbed in your eyeball at the same time. Yes. There is distance and time is elapsed for photons to travel across it. I think there's an elapsed time from the moment it emits from the sun to your eyeball. And it's about 8 minutes. I think the real answer to your question is a question itself. That is, how stoned are you? I'm just curious. I get that relatively speaking the distance is negligible. But still, we are able to measure a time between the light being emitted from the sun to when it reaches our eyeballs. Changing to a point of view from the photon would mean to observe at the speed of light. If one travels at the speed of light, does not time still elapse? Albeit warped, stretched a bit. In our today's knowledge, a photon did not have the experience of time. So all your thoughts about the view are invalid. Without time there is no view. For the photon nothing happens between emitting and absorption. Can someone explain, like I'm 5, what OP's question is asking?